Little droid's just still running around in circles back there. Never really does anything. Poor guy. Hey folks, I am Nathan B. Butler. This is my YouTube channel. This is the Battlefront Livestream podcast. Podcast not because you're getting it as an MP3 through podcatching software, but because as sort of a vodcast style of Livestream, it's more about the conversation with those who are in the chat at any given time, or the guest or commentary about the game, as opposed to being all about the gameplay itself. I am, of course, the author of, and I actually brought them this time, a Saga on Home video. Yes, it looks like a VHS tape. Fan's Guide to U.S. Star Wars Home Video Releases, available now on Amazon. I also most recently have a article, an essay at the end of A More Civilized Age, exploring the Star Wars Expanded Universe. No, I didn't pick the title. From Sequart, where I have basically an essay or an epilogue, an afterword for the entire series opposite the foreword by Timothy Zahn in the book, that is basically why a love of something implies that criticism of that something is okay, in fact encourage. Hey, it's Indiana Jim! And I would add to that, of course, I do the Star Wars Timeline Gold, the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere. You can find that at StarWarsFanWorks.com at over 3,100 pages across its 5 documents in its 20th anniversary release from October. And then I, of course, co-host with Michael Morris Cloud City Casino, which is a Star Wars gaming podcast. We just released a pair of episodes, it's sort of a 2-part thing from a long episode recording about the campaign and some of the relationships of that to the multiplayer for Battlefront 2. I also host, or co-host, Star Wars Beyond the Films with Mark Herleman, where we talk about Star Wars legends and canon stories and stuff like that. Either continuity is fine, sometimes even non-canon, or non-legends, too, the old in-canon stuff, the Infinities type stuff. But yes, on this channel you'll find things like From the Star Wars Home Video Library, which recently had an episode detailing those 7 new Star Wars Home Video reissues being released at Walmart in this last week or so, that all include a bonus disc with Forces of Destiny Volume 1, for those who are looking for more information on that. Bear in mind they are kind of repackages, basically, reissues and repackages combined. And beyond that, on this channel you also find Fantasy Flight Games reviews of various Star Wars items, and expect that tonight, later this evening or very early tomorrow, you should be able to get my breakdowns of the contents of the Wave 12 and Wave 13 X-Wing items. All 5 of those just arrived in the mail today. I just haven't had a chance to actually open them up and clear off the tables to do the quick videos and lay out the playmat and everything else. So I'm jumping back in here. We are in the Season of the Last Jedi. People are out there going, oh my god, Season of the Last Jedi, the only new content is new challenges? EA, you suck. DICE, you suck. At which point the response should be, no, commenter, you kind of suck, because you don't realize, or you haven't bothered to do the research to realize, or watch the trailer to realize, that the bulk of the content actually comes on the 13th. The challenges and picking your faction, Resistance or First Order, actually started a week before the rest of the rollout of the DLC. So on Tuesday, we'll get Finn, we'll get Phasma, we'll get the new A-Wing, we'll get the new Crate map. For Galactic Assault, we'll get the new Dakar map. For Starfighter Assault, and we'll be getting the new story content with Resurrection. But that's all on the 13th. On the 5th, it was just introducing new challenges and whatnot. And speaking of them, as of right now, we actually have 3 still ongoing. Blast Them All is going to be the one that runs for what is apparently the whole seasons, for a little over a month. Hey, Logan, yeah, I'm Rebel. Well, Resistance, I guess, right? Viva la Resistance, though we die, la Resistance lives on. If only so that I can sing the song from South Park. And then we have Still in One Piece, which actually is about to wrap up. This is the one that was been going for the last couple days. This one is very glitchy. What you'll find is if you're trying to do, like say you're playing, and this is what I was doing, say you're playing as the Heavy, and as playing as the Heavy Trooper, you're trying to do the challenge of 20, I think it's 25 kills with an impact grenade, right? So you might get 5 kills, let's say, with an impact grenade in one match. But then what winds up happening is that you get credit for 5 of those for Heavy, and then you get credit for like 3 for this one, even though it's supposed to be counting essentially the same thing, or at least the Heavy's impact grenade should count for this. And it does, but not consistently. Kind of asinine. Finally did wrap that up earlier, though. This is one of the ones, this is replacing timed challenges for now. So, yes, they are timed, but they're called The Last Jedi instead. But you'll notice that because they're under time challenges, they automatically get claimed. You don't have to go claim them separately. And then there is a new one, which is also seemingly bugged, called Troublemaker. Defeat 75 enemy soldiers for 25 crafting parts. Well, or 25, yeah, 75 for 25. This is another one that seems to be glitched. I find that the total that it shows me on this screen and the total it shows me on the after action screen often do not match at all. In fact, at one point it was telling me I was at like 26, and then when I went back to this screen it was like, no, you actually only have 17, and it built from 17 from there. So there are some issues with some bugged Last Jedi challenges right now, just kind of letting you know that ahead of time. I did also run into something, and actually this is something that Indiana Jim there gave me an idea for just recently, but I don't think it was what he was intending to do. He and I, well actually no, we weren't even talking about it. He actually posted this, I think, on Facebook, which was, hey, if you're trying to do those arcade challenges under career, right, some of those are not specific to like getting stars on a particular thing. You can do them in any type of arcade match. In fact, most of them you can. So if you wanted to do a bunch of them and knock them out fairly quickly, go to arcade, but instead of going to a particular mode, in battle scenarios, go to custom and set up your match so that you can be in a situation that's going to be most likely to get you several of those things at once, which is great. Which is when I realized that if you go in there and you set up a mode of onslaught and set the start time for only 3 seconds and the amount it gives you for an elimination at only 1 second, basically you can jump in, and between load time, character selection time, match time, and result screen time, you can get through an entire scenario in about 1 minute flat. So if you're trying to max out the amount of credits you can get out of arcade in a given day, but you're not a big fan of arcade, you can get your 1,500 credits or whatever it is by just doing that rapidly back to back, and you'll have, you know, it's 100 credits a match whether you win it or not. So jump in, and in 1 minute, boom, 100 credits. Jump in again, 1 minute, 100 credits. And I'm not talking about 1 minute in the match. I'm talking 1 minute from hitting play again and it loading everything else and blah, 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 all the way up to the end where you get the results screen and can hit play again to start that minute process over. So if you're trying to just farm the heck out of arcade to get yourself some easy credits, 1,500 a day basically, I think it's 1,500, go for it. Again, I don't think this was exactly what Jim was mentioning, but I am going to use his other suggestion when the time comes for me to actually knock out a bunch of the career items. Now I'm trying to catch up to Jim, basically, because just the other day Jim had finished up the multiplayer stuff and sent me a screenshot of having finished Tremendous Service. It gives you the choker emote and 500 crystals. But for me, since I usually am trying to work on trooper milestones, I've barely done anything with heroes on regular multiplayer. I need to get back into doing that, and so that I can then switch, because everything else I need to do for the milestones for multiplayer are all Starfighter. So I'm still working my way through troopers, but I was thankful the other day I finally passed the halfway point on those. Like I said, I've barely touched heroes though, and Starfighters haven't done a whole lot because most of the Starfighter challenges are with hero Starfighters or villain Starfighters. So I'm just going to jump in and slowly work on a little bit more of those Last Jedi challenges here for just a little bit, and then probably jump into Starfighter Assault for a little bit. Unfortunately, a couple of things I'm noticing. One is that I'm down to the milestones that are really a pain in the ass in some cases. Like, for the life of me, I cannot do the Killstreak Vanguard well. You have to do 3 kills in a single Vanguard activation and do that 5 times. I did it once by accident early on. Since I've been trying to do it on purpose, I have not pulled it off a single time. I've gotten 2 kills with one activation, but not 3. I've gone to Killstreak because what I'm finding is, while I thought that Slug Vanguard was going to be a lot better for me because of the range, it's turning out that I'm having just as much trouble with that, and Slug Vanguard is slow and still doesn't kill with one shot to the face like it probably should. So I switched back to Killstreak Vanguard with just the regular shotgun style and figure I'll try that out. But at least I don't have to do the stupid everybody doing detonators crap anymore that I was doing. Because that was driving me nuts, doing the impact grenade and stuff and having it count for impact grenade most of the time, but only sometimes counting as part of that last Jedi challenge. That was bull crapola. That was, as my old advanced placement U.S. history teacher back in high school back in the late 90s used to put on your paper if you tried to fake your way through it. It was BS, which he got away with putting on student papers because he said it did not stand for bullshit. It stood for a synonym, bovine secretions, which I think works well. Starting with our genetic archive.
Access the archive.
I found that I've played a little bit of Strike the other day, and I really did not like the Kamino Strike, for whatever reason. At least when playing as the droids, I didn't particularly like it. I finally found a decent sort of back way to get to the thing you gotta pick up, but it just seemed like it wasn't particularly balanced. Hey! Eliminated... I bet you that was an explosive kill after I spent half the day trying to get explosive kills and sometimes going entire matches without a single one. I'm sure I just did several more. Yep. And then, yeah, I've got a couple that I'm waiting on to get to, like this guy. There's part of me that wants to just get the last few that I need to get the card level up to 25, because then I'd be at the top level and be able to craft the epic cards and upgrade my Killstreak Vanguard even more, so I have an even better chance of actually pulling that off. But then I looked and realized that while I have enough crafting parts now, after spending a bunch of them, finally, to buy enough base cards, like common cards, to easily get easily get the necessary 4 other tick marks that I need, that I then would not have, and still don't have actually, enough crafting parts to actually do the upgrade to epic anyway. So probably kind of useless. Are you sure that it's 20 for epic? Because I can't craft an epic with my assault class until I get to 25. Because I was looking at it just when I was playing off stream a little bit earlier today. I don't know if that means they've tweaked it or what. How do you know this game expects you to die a lot when it treats 2 kills as a kill streak instead of 3, 5, 10? Something that's, you know, more reasonable. I mean, I don't know, they may have changed it, Jim. I'm honestly not sure. I mean, that's me kind of going like, I don't know. I just know that it was 25 for that particular one. Could be the ships have different, or it could be hero ships have different. Yeah. Although I find it interesting that heroes are you know, supposedly so awesome, and yet even they can't use their best abilities until you've got a crap ton of cards for them. Which is actually not as hard as it's being made out to be sometimes, because a lot of people are saying screw it to trooper crates because they're 4,000 credits each and still suck. And instead are spending their credits on hero crates, which are the cheapest kind, so they're always getting hero cards at least once per crate. Me, I'm excited to eventually play just more Starfighter Assault, a lot more Starfighter Assault, once I get a lot more milestones done for everything else. So I've been getting Starfighter crates, because they're only like 300 credits more than a hero crate. So...
Got your back.
All right, so we launch. What class did you choose for your foray into Kamino this time, Nate? Well, let me give you a hint. Hello and welcome to Today on NBC. That's right, I chose the Matt Lauer class, also known as the Assault class. Too soon? Yeah, probably. But at least I recognize it as probably too soon. Ah! It feels like they've updated the physics recently. Because I'm finding that in about the last, I'd say probably, not a week even, probably 3 to 5 days, the ragdoll effects seem to be pretty cool. Like I've had instances of having an explosion leave me hanging from a tree, which is just hilarious. But I didn't notice anything quite that over the top back in the first week or so after release.
Grenade out!
Whew. I gotta sneeze or something. Too many nosebleeds, but finally, hey, finally the crappy weather here has started to pay off in that while it sucks to drive in, and it's gonna be kind of sucky to go try to buy a car in sometime soon, we finally have snow in the Atlanta area. People always mock how people in Atlanta can't drive for crap during snow, but it's because most of the time it's not actually snow. In the Atlanta area, it's almost always just sleet, and you get sheets of ice without any real snow. Like, it reflects like snow because there's a little bit of white crystals to it, but it's not actual just nice, fluffy, decent to look at, not so horrible to drive in snow. But finally, we're actually getting snow right now. So I guess I can deal with a crappy nose for a while in order for us to finally actually see something we almost never see in the area.
We did it, boys.
We did it, boys! I still don't get why sometimes that thing falls off and sometimes it doesn't. Nice. Nice. That's what I picked up a while back. Definitely fun. Wait. Still in one piece. Collect reward in career. Except if you go to it, it automatically claims it. Oh my god, you're so broken. Lost Jedi Challenges. Last Jedi Challenges. Yeah, those. Speaking of which, people were freaking out about the 8 days left, or whatever it is, trailer that has a certain thing happen right at the end of the trailer and freaking people out. That in and of itself, kind of heavy spoiler. But if you think that's a heavy spoiler, beware of anything relating to Snoke and the visual dictionary leak that got onto Reddit. Holy crap. I'm not going to say anything more about it because it is that enormous. So just let it go. I wonder if it just gave me... I'm going to actually go back out and then go back in. I wonder if it just gave me the 500 credits again, because that thing is so freaking bugged. Maybe it went from, it's done, here's 500 credits, to, yeah, maybe not. Oh, it's done now, here's another 500 credits. It'd be nice if it was bugged in a way that actually was helpful. Alright, so stream setup. The way that I've got it set up is I've got my soundbar turned off first. TV, of course, directly in front, with my PlayStation Eye up above it in the center. Now the PlayStation, well, I guess they don't call it a PlayStation Eye anymore. They just call it a PlayStation camera. But the PlayStation camera that I was using back whenever it was like every stream, it was like I was down here, was the boxy one, the original version. And this is the newer one with that's sort of a cylindrical thing, so you can adjust the angle of it better. Which works pretty well, but you really only need that one instead of the boxy one if you're like me, where your TV goes up quite a bit higher than you'll be sitting. Then I got the PS4 Pro plugged in with a LAN cable right here, so I get a stable connection going. I've got it set to stream in 720 in order to keep the connection going, but also because it keeps me from having to constantly change my settings if I stream PSVR, because PSVR can't stream in 1080. It does mean if you're playing on a Pro and you use a 4K television, you're going to have to go in before you stream and manually turn off HDR. And if you usually play on Wi-Fi, like just manually change your network to the LAN cable, of course. And then microphone-wise, I'm just using one that plugs into the regular port. It's the set from the original Battlefront. They had 2 of those. This is the limited edition Sand Trooper set from the original Battlefront release, or, well, the Battlefront EA original release. But yeah, I mean, really, all you need is the camera, and technically you can stream with just the mic off the camera, but it's not all that great. So I would definitely say get a separate headset, especially if you're going to wind up playing with anybody so you can hear them. But have it set so that it's not piping chat audio to your headset, it's piping all audio to your headset. Otherwise, it's going to give you some issues sometimes. Let's see. Mace Windu's son gave Darth Vader a wedgie. He is Mace Windu's son and gave Darth Vader a wedgie. If he's Mace Windu's son, he's like that new Klingon religious dude in that he's an albino of some kind. And then gave Darth Vader a wedgie. Imagine doing that within the metal suit where he can't get to it anymore. That would be a reason to go to the dark side by itself. Let's see. Snoke leak from the Lego set. Yeah, the Snoke leak from the Lego set was just that he was going to be in it in a humanoid form instead of just as a hologram, and that you were going to be able to see him in that guise. Yeah, I'm assuming it's not giving it to me another time, but yeah, there's nothing to claim, even though it was saying claim the reward. Whatevs. Actually, let me check that real quick. Blast them all at 133. I need to make sure that this is actually still growing, because I'm not sure which classes I've killed 50 with yet since starting this challenge. And it's kind of idiotic they don't separate them out. People are bitching about that on the forums, but yeah. So 133, and I'll stick to Assault class, and after the last match, come back and check it just to make sure it's still going. Okay, just means a little more load times. Okay. Yeah, this one is massive. Like, I don't know if there's a way for me to even suggest what it is without... Like, it's Snoke related, but it has a much bigger impact than just Snoke. It's like a perception of certain elements of Star Wars changing type of revelation that happens to involve Snoke. But apparently the visual dictionary leaked in a store somewhere, and somebody took a bunch of pictures of it while inside a store, because you can see it, like the picture, like the book is actually resting on a cart, like a shopping cart, or buggy, or whatever, and posted those pictures to Reddit. And, yeah, it's pretty big. But I asked for that one. A buddy of mine who used to host the OSFans Network podcast reached out to me, was just like, do you want to know? I'm like, yeah, sure, show me. I'm sure I'll see it at some point. The one from the trailer, or from the little TV spot for 8 days that shows the kind of spoilerish thing near the end of it, wound up being the headline and featured image on a ton of websites within the span of, like, a week. See, Jim's like, I'm not going to say it in the chat, but I'm going to ask you here. And my answer is, nope. Sorry. Not that.
Let's take him.
It's big. It's big, though. And it gives new meaning to at least one thing that we've heard, a new phrase that was introduced from the time we started seeing sequel trilogy stuff. Gives a new context to a certain phrase, and gives new context to a something that you hear Rey saying in the Celebration trailer. This isn't just me, right? Am I not... What in the hell?
Make ready all troops.
You're seeing this, right? How the texture map isn't working for the ground, so the ground is basically just a sea of yellow. Wow.
Imperial's inside the auction house.
We're talking about Snoke and the whole Snoke revelation of Snoke in his yellow clothing, and then the whole ground goes yellow. Coincidence? I think so.
The lead ally on the ground.
You say it's mustard, now I'm like, mustard. Like, I really want one of those extremely overpriced hot dogs from Celebration again now. How now? I can't see diddly shit right now. It's dark, man. Mustard or snotty throw up. So basically it's cat hairball without the lumps. Mmm. That's true, you'd have to stand in a long line.
We can't hold the auction house forever, but we're not losing it
Come
yet.
on!
Reinforcements, go!
I will litter this mustard with your ketchup, Imperial scum. Ah!
From the auction house to the bazaar. We can't protect both.
Speaking of bazaar. Oh, I didn't even get to respawn into Mustard World. Oh, you can still see it though. That must be an in-engine cutscene because you can still see the mustard on the ground. Weird. I think I've gotten on that screen like once or twice since the entire start of it. So every time I actually do show up on that screen, I make it a point to check it off. Yeah, I apparently didn't kill anybody that wasn't a kill assist, but I thought I did at least one, but maybe not. Well, no, because that's got a little tiny bit of yellow at the end of it, doesn't it? And it's actually showing up. Speaking of which, night vision. Okay, night vision for CR2 is going to be pretty sweet. I just got the night vision for the FWMB, the Fwamba, which is that main weapon that I've been using, the one that for the Elite Trooper Edition, or the second one unlocked for the Heavy. The night vision for that is pretty sweet because it adds basically a zoom-in kind of scope to it and the night vision. The only downside is that unlike some of the other night vision or X-ray vision type modes that you see in this game or the others, it doesn't let you actually see through anything. But anybody who is around shows up really, really bright. Oh, I was going to go... Well, it didn't count any kills, I don't think, so I'll wait before I go and check to see how I'm doing. Are we back on Tatooine? Here on Tatooine. Maybe. Probably. Because it wouldn't be indoor without a speeder bike on here. So I'm assuming this is the other side of the Tatooine, like I was thrown into a match that had already started. Tatooine, there you go, Tatooine, brought to you by French's. You could have indoor, brought to you by some kind of salad company. No, indoor, brought to you by Viagra. When you need a lot of wood, Viagra.
This spaceport, Mos Eisley, is home to an elite rebel.
Hoth, brought to you by cocaine dealers.
All parties involved, but they're heavily armed and already on alert. Rebel Alliance forces are trying to evacuate our targets, so we'll have to lock
Death
down
Star,
the
brought to you by the American Steelworkers.
We'll ID the bodies in the wreckage.
Star Killer Base, brought to you by a poor copy of the American Steelworkers. One of those moments where I realize I'm sure I just pissed somebody off. You can always pause pre-match and see the map at the top corner. Really? Pausing? I don't know that I've paused pre-match. I've paused mid-match like that. I don't know that I've ever thought to pause pre-match. I'm sure I probably haven't, I just haven't thought about it.
Cantina is open to capture.
Brought to you by Mustard Throw Up, also known as guacamole. There you go, Death Star brought to you by Many Bothans. I like that. Now, is that Many Bothans with one in, or is that Manny Bothhands, the guy from Tag and Bink? Hola, updates. SWNU. Ah! I was like, I see what... Oh, dead. But I did see him finally.
In the cantina.
Oh. Oh, nope. Ooh. I'm so quick on the draw that I almost unlocked a final exam for the... because I got my system up here like I usually do. I almost unlocked a final exam or a test for somebody in U.S. history, which is not my class. It's just a student who happens to also be taking a class with me, and there's no way to filter that. Woo! That teacher would have been pissed. Actually, they probably wouldn't have given a crap, but on the off chance that there's actually something that's a big deal. Still. Yep. SNU! SWNU. Which actually sounds like it's not just Star Wars news and updates, but Star Wars and you, right? SWNU. Yeah. Let's see. Lightsabers brought to you by Master Replicas. Banthas brought to you by No Shave November. Oh shit!
Pick the target.
Dang, there's a bunch of them out here. Ah! Hail Mary pass. Oh! Yeah, when I'm not friggin' trying to get the milestone for using the explosive grenade type stuff. When I do that, when I'm not trying to, I get it. When I am trying to, I can't do it to save my frickin' life. I teach, it's actually not even a school per se. It's the school is in the name, but it's actually a program for our county. It's called Fulton Virtual School, or Fulton Virtual. It's basically the online class offerings, basically, with full-time teachers from Fulton County schools in Georgia. It's basically the Atlanta metro schools in Fulton County, except for Atlanta itself, which is called Atlanta Public Schools, or APS. And right now, I teach world history, and keeping in mind that everything you teach, you're teaching both semesters at the same time, because some students are taking first semester, some are taking second semester at any given time, and they're all kind of working at their own pace. So it's not like you go through as a cohort where everybody's at the same place at the same time taking the same version of the class. But right now I teach world history, economics, 6th grade and 7th grade. And that's with 3 of us teaching full-time now, plus some adjunct teachers that work part-time. When I started back in January of 2015, I was the only full-time teacher, so I wound up... I was teaching, let's see, I was teaching both semesters of U.S. history, both semesters of world history. I was teaching the 1 semester government class, the 1 semester economics class, both semesters of 6th grade, both semesters of 7th grade, both semesters of 8th grade, and we very quickly added to that AP Human Geography and AP World History. Thankfully, that workload has decreased. I've taught anywhere from like 100 students or so to about 260. In a semester, just depending on the need. Right now, I've got about 220. Which they don't force on you, by the way. Like, I'm a department chair, or teacher lead, or whatever you call it. So basically, my maximum is like 146, 144, before they allow you to choose to take on other students for extra pay, but also, you know, extra work. So... I love world history stuff. I mean, well, I love history in general, but actually, I take it back. I just kind of love social studies. Like, I'm not big on the geography part of it. That's all right. Although the cultural geography part of it's kind of interesting. But I was about to say, you know, I love history, but I was like, I love economics. I actually kind of love politics and government, too, even though I don't love the way that it usually works out. But, yeah, if you ever got questions about that kind of thing, you know, feel free to ask. I'm interested in that kind of stuff, and it's something that I've taught for years. AP and regular for world history. It's kind of my bread and butter. But I can definitely see, I mean, like, I had some really bad teachers at one. I mean, I had like an advanced placement AP European history teacher. What did we do most of the time? We colored maps with basically markers and crayons. I kid you not, in an AP class. Why? Because she was a year away from retirement and didn't give a shit. You know? But then I also had an awesome AP US history teacher who was kind of like my mentor and my inspiration for a while. And this dude was awesome in that he taught US history towards the Civil War, right? So first semester, it was Clinton, who was president when I was in high school. Clinton backwards to the Civil War. And then second semester was colonial times forward to the Civil War, because his working theory was that all of American history either leads into or out of the Civil War. Did I get any actual kills that time? I must have, because of Troublemaker. Let me see where I stand on the other one there. So, yeah. It's good stuff, though. It's kind of my thing. I think you're asking... I think... I missed a post, I think, right above it, but if you're asking if you can take it at your school, only if you're a student in Fulton County, Georgia. If you're a student in Fulton County, Georgia, with Fulton County schools, then you can. It's offered to anyone who's within the county, but you can't do it outside the county. At least ours, I mean, the Fulton virtual stuff. But we're just one of their options. I just think we're sort of the best option that they have because they actually have a full-time teacher who's local, so they can actually go to the school and help when necessary. So, come on. Come on. Come on. Clinton was one of those guys that was good for the economy without meaning to be good for the economy because it was mostly out of his hands. Which I guess is good because most of the time his hands were apparently full of boobs. So, you know, hey. All right, let's see. So I had 133. Now I'm at 138. So I guess I do still need some, at least for now, with the assault class because it is still growing. So I'll stick with assault for now. Ha ha ha! Like Clinton! Sorry. Linking the topics a little bit together there. Excuse me. I feel your pain and your boobies. Clinton. It's amazing to think that there used to be a time when the worst scandal in American politics was Clinton stooping an intern and lying about that under oath. He did some other worse things, but as I recall, that was where the lie was that got him impeached. Because he lied and then told other people to lie, which is where the obstruction of justice charge came from. Lost students? Like, lost students? That's pretty extreme. I'm assuming you mean like the kid just like left the room and the teacher didn't notice or something like that. Now, the downside for us, and I mentioned this on a stream the other day, that you talk about losing students. Like, we will sometimes literally lose students in that we are, because we're online and it's a full-time kind of thing, to be able to provide the support for the students, we tend to have a lot of the students who are sick to the point where they're hospital homebound. They're either in the hospital or at home, can't go to the school buildings. So they're taking classes with us. And sometimes these are deathly ill students. So I've actually had students pass away before while taking the class. Which is the kind of emotional hit that you didn't usually... I didn't see that much in a traditional classroom. I had one kid get shot and killed once when I was teaching in a traditional classroom, and then we had a real sort of a sports tragedy where during a scrimmage, one of our players who was in my class took a bad hit and died instantly right there on the field. But aside from that, those were like the rare extremes of that sort of thing. But we get some of the worst possible stories. Like, I've got a girl right now in my class who just got, it's a horrible situation, and she just got thrown into foster care, and her whole world like turned upside down, and we are like the one real stable thing that she has. And it's kind of a heartbreaking thing at times. But the fact that at least there's someone for our school system that's able to provide for those students has been a huge, huge thing. Wow. That's crazy. It's insane. And granted, that's a lot of students to keep track at once, but, I mean, at least in our school, the easiest solution was close the frickin' door while you're teaching and know what it sounds like when it opens or closes, you know? And unless the kid's frickin' Solid Snake, you'll notice if they leave. Yeah, the ground is normal now. This is when Anakin is like, I wish it was still mustard. I hate sand. Although I wonder if he would have hated the mustard too. Do you think Anakin would have hated the mustard and it's just that he doesn't like Tatooine? That it's not really about sand being rough and getting everywhere? And every time I hear that line, it's an off-color joke from South Park. But every time I hear Anakin's line about I hate sand, I immediately think of Eric Cartman. What's wrong? Do you have sand in your vagina? Same. There we go. I hate mustard. It overpowers the ketchup, and when it drips, it gets everywhere. And you can't say it gets everywhere. It has to be gets everywhere. Just like from now on with Star Wars, when you ever ask anyone, at least when you ask Leia, what are you doing? It can't be, what are you doing? It has to be, what are you doing? And it has to be that ungodly, terrible line delivery from Forces of Destiny. Or if you're going to say Han Solo, at least a certain percentage of the time it must be Han Solo. You know, the whole thing. Now, we've also got, I mean, to be fair, I mean, we've got the students who are in the really bad situations. We also have students who are just rocking it and want to get out of high school early. And they're tearing through these classes. I had a student finish an entire semester of economics in a month because he put in a lot of time a day and was a really sharp kid. He blazed through. He's like, what's next? And we got him set up with the next class, you know? That kind of depends on the school, though. Some schools are okay with the idea that the student zipped through something and they succeeded in it, so let's get them set up with another class. Other ones don't like doing that because it involves a lot of schedule-changing type stuff on their end and some record-keeping oddness, and your enrollments relate to your funding, so there's some question about how exactly that's supposed to work with funding for an individual school. But generally, you know, we've got those options for the students who are just excelling, and regular school doesn't feel like it's as fast as they want it to be, too. Only downside is we can't do AP anymore, for the most part, because basically your school system buys books in bulk from textbook companies on different contracts. So, in our case, there's a certain book that is used by our entire county for, say, AP World History. Well, because we don't teach the same way, we use an online platform called Edgenuity. They've got their own book. Not like owned by them, but they selected a different AP World History book to use as the book to go along with that online course. So unless we're going to recreate the course from scratch to use a different book, we're kind of stuck because the county is not in a position, I think it's contractually, to be able to say, okay, well, we're going to have these World History books for this group, and then just buy a bunch of these other ones for this other group. It needs to be the same book. So unless the company we use for our content winds up choosing to switch books, we can't offer those AP classes anymore. I mean, it was fine when we had like one or two students and it was okay just to pay as like a supplemental thing to just buy one or two copies of a book, but not when you got to buy them in bulk when you're already buying another one in bulk. Yep, Vader doesn't like Scarif. Oh man, that is definitely something that we need. We need like a bunch of unpleasant Anakin's not having a good day kind of video clips from the Clone Wars and put them to the song by Da Vinci's Notebook, "Sand Down My Pants." If you've never heard that song, it's basically the story of why this guy didn't like to go to the beach because his girlfriend at the time put sand down his pants, but now years later they aren't together, but he thinks of her fondly, and anytime he needs to think of her, he puts sand down his pants. It's weird, but it's you know, it's like anything by Da Vinci's Notebook. It's kind of just there for the fun and levity of it. Like, oh, they got Secret Agent Man, which is a parody of Secret Agent Man, where the spy in question is working for Mao Zedong. You've got Kingdom in the Sky that sounds like it's a religious song, and then you realize that it's Magic Kingdom in the sky, and he's singing about going to Disney World. Just weird stuff. And then a couple more off-color ones. There's one whose chorus is basically, I look at my enormous, you know, like when life gets you down, I look at my enormous such and such, and my day gets better, more or less is the general gist of it. Like every time I'm having a bad day, I remember I'm well endowed, and you're like, wait, that's a song? Yes, it totally is. Da Vinci's Notebook is one of those weird bands. Kind of like if you've never heard Suicide Bomber by the group Tripod, you definitely should check that one out. The line being, aren't you the suicide bomber who blew up the bus last year? And the whole thing is about, think about what you're saying. You're accusing me of being a suicide bomber who blew up something last year. With the logic, of course, being if he's a suicide bomber, he's dead, right? But it's a play on modern stereotypes. And yeah, someone graduating early. That's what it was. Oh shit! Whenever. Oh no! See, now the song that's stuck in my head is the one about the enormous. No. Da Vinci's Notebook is the name of the group, though, if you want to look it up. Go. I really should be trying to do my Killstreak Vanguard thing because I'm having a hell of a time with it. It's nearly impossible for me so far. But there's a part of me that's like, why just set myself up for failure? Oh, hey, what's up? Hey, get back here. Get back here. Ah, shit! I didn't even get the kill on that one. What gets me is that the Slug Vanguard is supposed to be so much better at range, and yet it still takes multiple shots and is still friggin' slow to kill anybody. And that one doesn't give you expanded time for every kill, so getting 3 to be able to get what you need for that milestone is a real pain. If anybody's actually managed to do that, I'd be very curious for some tips of how you pulled it off. Apparently, my trooper fires like he sprays and prays rather than actually aiming. Surely that's the trooper, not me. Although I will say, talking about spray and pray, that is my go-to response now whenever I get hit by a flash grenade. I get hit by a flash grenade, I'm just... And usually, whoever it was that tried to blind me and come after me ducks into cover because I'm spraying with that. Unless he was coming from a like a side flanking direction. He was gonna say side direction, which isn't very specific. Then he said flanking, and it sounds like he knows what he's talking about. What the?
All targets secure. We're heading deeper. Cut us a path through those troopers, huh? Getting darker? Forget it. Gotta secure the main gate and breach the base. Make it fast.
Wasn't Sanford and Son set at a junkyard, or am I just completely wrong on that? It's been many, many years. Watch it turn out that wasn't even the Sanford and Son song, and I'm just a moron when it comes to TV music. But I think it was. Pretty sure.
I can handle myself.
Again, the title of Rey's inappropriate X-rated parody. Rey can handle herself. Followed by its sequel, You Offering Me a Job? Ah, now there's a test I can unlock that is actually for one of my kids. There we go. Yeah, basically they have us unlock the tests to make sure the student is actually doing well enough to be able to proceed. And fortunately, we're at the point now where most of them are in really good shape. And I know which ones are struggling and which ones are going to need the help before they can take the test, like need extra review or something. So it's a pretty fast thing to just get a student who's doing fine from being ready for the test to letting them actually take it. It's just basically a click of a button. What is that? That's scary. And it sounds like it's tied into something that I should recognize the quote from. Oh, then ill-wed. Gotcha. Not I'll. Ill. Gotcha. I was seeing the way that it's on my screen. I guess it's on your screen. If you're, like, in the actual video window, where it... Or maybe not. I don't know. It separated out the T and than and HAN in than. So I was thinking Han. I was saying it was something about marrying Han if he's well hung, which I guess means he really likes that song from Da Vinci's Notebook or something. Uh-oh! I hear Darth Maul. So you think that Darth Maul actually lost his Darth title because of being cut in half and left to die on Naboo and being replaced by Dooku, but it's actually more that, you know, when he emerged as Spider Maul, he was accused of using those extra appendages in unsavory ways in the workplace, and once that happened, he was stripped of his Darth title and forced to resign. But it's okay, because then he ran for office in Alabama and got in, no problem. Let's do it! It's weird, these hang on, let me turn on my... I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at his attire here, the Resistance soldiers look like World War I-ish. They don't really look Star Wars-y to me.
Going in tight. Follow my lead.
That's what he said. Come on, one more. Oh, son of a bitch. I ran out. I got two. I have to get 3 or it does not count. I should have run that way. I should have fired off this thing first so I know where everybody is. Uh-oh. Oh! He's dead, Kylo. He's dead, Kylo. See, you can repurpose Kinect Star Wars for other means. Dang. That was actually a game I really enjoyed, was parts of Kinect Star Wars. Let's see. Come on! Come on! Somebody I want become available here! No! I'm trying to think of who I've actually done any challenge stuff with. I haven't. Okay, so Ray, hurry up. Hurry up and die. Hurry up and die. Hurry up and die. And this used to, you know, I used to wonder if this would actually work. Okay, die. Hurry up and die, Ray. Come on. Come on. Don't look at me with those dead eyes. And then she looks over the other direction. That's what I'm talking about. Digital freaks better follow my orders. Come on, die, Ray. I'll give it just a little bit because I do actually have some challenges to do with Ray. And if I jump out, die, and jump back in, chances are by then she will have already been used otherwise. Unlock a test. Come on. I'll give it 40 seconds, and then I'll jump back in if it's not available. Come on! Sitting here hammering away on the X button. Come on! Come on! Come on! We got 10 seconds left. 8, 7, 6, 5. Fine, I'll go in as Yoda. Dang it! Because, I mean, I still need to do Yoda's. I just forget how his... Where's his... Unleash lets him block and then shoot. Heal himself and those around him and dash attack. Okay. Oh! Ah!
Name the bounty.
Too light I am. Fly like Superman I do.
Life is the Jedi way.
Gave you Jedi life or something. I did. Ah!
Are you offering me a job?
No, I am not. Die, you will. Ah! Kill I must. When we should. Oh, crapola it is. Goodbye. Ah! Why is he not actually delivering any freaking hits? Come on. Seriously, look at this. Look at that. Look at that. It took him that long to deliver much in the way of hits at all. Oh! Heal myself I will. Die I should. Flipping I am. Hello, Vincent. Oh! Sorry I am. Woohoo! All right, there we go. Maybe I got some stuff for his. Basically, if you're playing as a hero right now for Milestones, just spam the living hell out of, you know, everything. Because there's a challenge for most of your abilities. Or a milestone for most of your abilities. So, might as well. What was groundbreaking about Snoke's page in the visual guide? If I say it will be, oh, there we go, hang on. 50 allies with health bonus. Okay, so that's easy to get more of. 30 with dash attack. I only did 2, but that's because his dash attack sucks. 182, 292, 49, 54 with that. Okay, cool. Wait, 50. I don't. It doesn't seem like I got nearly as many of those as I expected. How many kills did I actually have? 23 eliminations. So unless a lot of those were kill assist, I don't think Troublemaker correctly counted them. Let me make sure that I can still grow with this class. Let's see. But yeah, like if I told you what was so groundbreaking about it, it would spoil quite a bit, and I don't want to do that when in just sort of a general chat. So suffice to say, look up Snoke Visual Dictionary Leak Reddit, as in REDDIT, and you're likely to find exactly what I'm talking about. Wow. Official, which is the is the NT242 the 4th one? Because I don't think I've unlocked that one yet. I've got the first 3, and tend to prefer the second one when I'm actually playing as Specialist. There wasn't planning to be JL. Basically, I had forgotten, or it was still up in the air. My wife was going to go see some like Christmas decoration things like up towards the Georgia mountains with a friend of hers, but it wasn't a firm plan. And turned out they decided, even with the crappy weather, or the pretty weather, but still kind of crappy weather, they decided to go ahead and do it tonight. So she headed out, and I'm like, oh, well, if I'm going to play, I guess I can stream. Because they let out schools early, so it's kind of weird. We got a big burst of activity, and then things kind of died off similarly to how it often does, except for unlocking tests, which is a little weird. But I'm still monitoring just in case, even though technically all employees be done at 4. Well, yeah, but my students might be working after 4 o'clock today, and that's not our usual work time, so don't mind me. I'll still take care of the kids. Just kind of seems like that's the thing to see. Okay, so you see what just happened. So in this case, it was the opposite, right? So it didn't show me the correct number on the previous screen at the end of the match, but it did count them for this screen. Whereas last time it was the other freaking way around. And then blast them all. I'm at 150. I don't know where the other ones have to come from. I'll keep going with the assault class for now, but I'm going to have to check back at the end of each, or at least every other, like I've been doing, because eventually I'm going to hit the point where kills with that class won't count toward this anymore. And I want to just knock this out of the way and get it done. How much snow? Oh, I mean, not much at all. I mean, relatively speaking, it's tiny compared to anywhere. It's just the fact that it's snow instead of ice for the first time in ages, which is really cool. Not that you can see it now because it's dark outside, but still. We went and brought the cats in. So we got our 3 cats, but then we got 5 that we're looking after for my father-in-law. One that has seizures and is in our garage all the time. And then 4 that are usually living outside, like kind of in the woods behind our house. And we brought all of those 4 into the garage with the other one. So they're warm, but whew. JL, easier way to tell? Assuming that it shows up on your screen as it does mine. Not sure if it does. If it does, top left, you'll see where it says elapsed time, it'll tell you. Been doing it for about an hour, probably going to go maybe even up to an hour longer. I mean, it sounds like probably what's going to happen because of the ice and snow is they're just going to crash at her friend's place tonight at her house whenever they get back. So that means that theoretically I've got the night pretty much. And then tomorrow is when she usually spends time with her dad, so I'll do it then. And then we'll be spending the day Sunday, assuming the weather permits, to go up to, I kid you not, I've said this before, Babyland General Hospital. Yes, it's where the Cabbage Patches are born. She digs the place, and we're trying to make it a tradition to go up there at least once a year, and if at all possible, get a picture of the 2 of us with Santa every year, because we don't have any other major traditions year to year like that. Let's see. Oh no, Georgia snowstorms are nothing. Georgia snowstorms just give a little bit of a dusting to make it look pretty. What happens in Georgia that is bad, that people freak out at, well, okay, they freak out about snow because they can't tell the difference. But what people freaked out about years ago that kind of gave Atlanta the bad name, the Snowmageddon, wasn't actually Snowmageddon, it was ice. Like an inch or 2 of almost pure ice, with only a little bit of dusting on top of it that caused a lot of issues. Oh, it's this map. I love this map, except I love it when I'm playing as the Resistance because the kills, there's a kill zone to go after the First Order that is really easy. But no, wrong side this time. Nice. See, it's different with me, because what happens with us is that when it snows and the kids are out of school, they actually work on their online classes more. So we wind up working more than our typical school day might have us doing, just depending. Sabrina, if there's something I can clarify for you, just let me know. Be happy to. Kill them! Kill them all! The name! It's B-A-W-L-Z. I've got to hope that he meant ball as in actual ball as in cries, because otherwise he named himself after testicles, and that's probably not good.
Hostile range.
See that on a job application. And what are your skills? Well, I know how to name myself balls without it actually looking like I did. You're hired. You'll now be the new Secretary of State. Let's see. What killed the dinosaurs? Yeah. Oh God, the Batman Returns thing, or not Batman and Robin thing, right? The Ice Age. Batman and Robin I thought was pretty terrible. Batman Forever I actually really liked though. So, not all bad for Schumacher, just one terrible one for Schumacher. The director.
Heads down.
Heads down, ass up. Oh, wait. Nope, nope, nope. That is a song we will not be quoting here. I think it's face down instead of head down anyway, but still. Batman Returns was all right. I vacillate back and forth sometimes on which one was, or I used to, between the better one between Batman and Batman Returns of the Keaton ones. But now looking back at it, now watching Batman Returns, God, it's pretty awful. It's pretty awful. All right. Yeah, but it was a poison ivy that sucked.
The memorial should fall shortly.
So I was saying, at least the holiday special had Chewbacca. Why, yes. Yes, it did. Still sucked, but yes, it did. Oh! Ah! That's what I'm talking about, how I think they've updated the ragdoll physics, because that's insane right there from a supercharged sentry shot. Now, the best Keaton superhero movie, though, now isn't Batman. Now the best Michael Keaton superhero movie is Spider-Man Homecoming. He makes a good everyman jackass villain. And his conversation with Peter in the car is like an instant classic kind of moment. Oh. Cool. Don't have cable, so I actually started to watch Force Awakens earlier, and then I was like, nah, I'm gonna actually play some Battlefront. Make some progress. Be productive, or what gamers call productive.
Grenade in play.
Gamers like me, I'm not disparaging. Sorry! I don't know what happened. She just walked in front of my gun. Damn it, Senator Franken. See, it kills the joke if you can't pronounce the person's friggin' name correctly. Oh, come on! Yeah, that was my fault. I shot next to him instead of shooting at him.
I'll cover you.
See, if I do that, though, if it picks up the audio of it, it would, if I was streaming and it picked up the audio of it, it would give me an issue of copyright from the audio. What usually happens if I'm playing at night is I'll have my phone running something on Netflix and have that in the earphone in one ear, and then have this plugged into a pair of smaller headphones where I'm listening to the game through the other ear. Oh crap! Sabrina, it is 6:30 p.m. Eastern time here where I am.
Got your back.
Got your back. Because if I got your front, that'd be harassment. Nice. Yeah, it's probably my favorite Spider-Man, but it is very true that this Spider-Man is very much sort of a Spider-Man as defined by Iron Man kind of thing. Because we didn't really ever get to see him without the Stark surrogate father issues and so forth. Crap, I thought this was the corner that had the little thing, the sewer grate looking thing you could walk through, and apparently it was not. That ain't gonna hit anything. That's just gonna make it uncomfortable. Oh, shot in the back. He's to blame.
We can do this.
Have not seen the Jurassic World 2 trailer. Just not particularly stoked. I will at some point, but... Well, he had his hoodie suit and stuff. But yeah, he didn't have the... Like, the Stark suit was pretty interesting. I love, though, the code words, right? The training wheels protocol. That kind of thing. Was it training wheels? What was the other one called? Was it pacifier protocol, was it? So 6 hour time difference then? Like what? Kareen. What is Kareen?
The East turbo laser should be destroyed presently.
Aren't you glad you spent all those points to come back as a rocket trooper just for me to drain most of your health there?
You are a credit
His
to your training.
suit.
The sector is secure. Clear away the last of our foes. The Resistance and those they shield are huddled inside the castle. We will seize it with a head-on assault.
With the head-on assault. Oh, Karen, gotcha. Okay, you meant like the AI that's in the suit. Gotcha. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Though why it's giving him relationship advice, I don't know. And as CinemaSins put it very well, why would you take a relationship advice from anything programmed by Tony Stark? Just a thought. Uh-oh.
Attempting to secure the castle.
Got a jerkweed up top. Try to blow into bits.
Grenade out.
Oh, you're gonna jump down now, eh?
Captain of the Millennium Falcon.
You jumped, eh?
Whatever you need.
I think that's... Oh, I think I hear a cat meowing. Yeah. It's one of the cats down at my feet here. Yes. Yes, I think this one's much better than the first one. Even though they've made a lot of mistakes along the way. Come on, come through the door. Oh, yeah! Uh-oh, gonna die. Oh, Ray! Okay, kill me. I know I'm not gonna get away from you, so just kill me and let me respawn. I mean,
Let's go.
I haven't watched the E.T. one yet. But I haven't... That's the thing. I haven't seen E.T. in whole in so long. I'm not sure that I would get all of what he's talking about. Last time I saw E.T. was I saw like the last half hour while waiting for a car repair to get done. And the last time before that I saw E.T. was like in the 80s. Wow, that Sonic Imploder imploded faster. Oh! Than Matt Lauer's career in news.
Let's do this together.
That's what she said. About the letterbox wides. Oh, what I don't like about letterbox is that for most modern viewers who are watching on a widescreen television, usually a widescreen HD television, if something is letterboxed, unless that TV or your player has the rather unusual ability to zoom in, then what you're going to get is black boxes on every side and an image that is much more narrow than your screen could actually allow, which just makes for less pleasurable viewing, I think. Let's see. Did I see the... I missed the thing about E.T. Have I seen any of the videos of the new Clone Wars skins that were data mined? Yep. Curious if they're actually going to make use of them, or if that was abandoned, or if that's what's going to become like the basis maybe of the new cosmetic microtransactions if they do it. We'll just have to see. Oh crap, it's Luke. Do I know the song What Bob? I do not. Did I see the...
You and me, we got this.
Lucas... Oh, you know, I'm actually not sure. I wasn't paying attention. Changing things with walkie-talkie, the guns to walkie-talkies. I actually hadn't even thought about it when we were seeing it. Like, we were sitting there waiting for... I don't even remember if it was waiting for her car to get done or my car to get done. Now my car's really done. Now it's totaled, so now I get to have fun going car shopping when the snow eventually lets up and the freaking money comes in. But the car that I want, the local dealership that we usually go to for most of our car stuff, that we like so much, last I saw, it doesn't have any inventory for that type of vehicle, which is going to mean going somewhere else or waiting until they get some inventory or something. So I want to get another Kia Rio 5, or Kia Rio hatchback, I think is what they call it, because it's affordable and a really solid car. But I may wind up having to go with like a Corolla or something, I don't know. I need something that's not going to break the bank and have a long period of payments again, because we still hadn't finished up the 6 friggin' years of payments on that car. But I also need something with a big enough trunk, or at least fold down seats that expand the trunk space to be able to get stuff like new bookshelves and whatnot without having to have them delivered by friggin' UPS. It's bad enough that we don't even have a ladder at our house yet, at least a decent sized ladder to get up and like clean out the gutters, because neither of us can fit the ladder in our car. We'd have to order it from Home Depot or something and have it delivered, which is ridiculous. But I don't want to buy an SUV, because once you get up to the SUVs, you're getting to a price range I really don't want to be dealing with. Although at least this time we'll have the money from the car being totaled as a down payment. Because the last car that we financed, we financed the whole thing. And it sucked. Even with some other stuff. Let's see. What was that about comedian sexually assaulting Silk Spectre in Watchmen? I missed the full bit. JL, try to combine the thoughts and it'll scroll slower. Oh, so Spielberg did say he regretted it. That's good, I guess. At least he's able to kind of look back on it and have some perspective. I need to play more as Kylo, if at all possible, because I need to do the freezes. It's interesting, though, now that when you're playing heroes versus villains, typically everybody's playing as a hero or a villain, so you don't have the issue of someone dying and coming back just as a trooper unless they want to come back just as a trooper. Tell you what, it says players need it. Oh, starting as Assault. Yeah, might as well. But I need 10 more of his freeze ability connections. Not even freeze ability kills. You just have to connect and actually have it affect 10 more, and I'll have that milestone done. And there we go. Awesome. Really? I did not know that. That's kind of weird. Hey, EK. No problem. I mean, I wasn't planning on streaming at all tonight. I had totally forgotten my wife was well, I hadn't totally forgotten. I had not known that my wife had actually managed to confirm her plans for tonight to go do some Christmas decoration viewing stuff that she'd mentioned before, but I wasn't sure if she was going to be doing given the weather. And sure enough, oh crap, gonna die, shoot, nope, dead. Yeah, Lucas is, and that's the thing, like, I look at some of the changes, and some of the changes I'm like, they should be regretted, but at least, you know, he's sticking by his guns and at least giving a reason for why certain things did. But then you got the little audio changes that irk me, like, you've got Luke and Vader fighting until there's the cut of the pipe, and Luke does the whole putting the pipe in Vader's face in Empire, and it's the man, right? And then whenever Vader gets kicked off down the staircase, originally it was Arr! But I guess he thought that, what, Vader wouldn't have said ARG because he's too badass for that or something? So now it's just a repeat of man that sounds really lame because you just heard it in a matter of minutes before. So it's little stuff like that that kind of get me. Or, you know, the obvious stuff like, why is Jabba's palace's door now bigger on the outside than from the inside? Is it a reverse Doctor Who thing? Why is it that the rocks in front of R2-D2 that now appear in A New Hope, whenever Ben shows up, why is it that they appear from one angle but not from the other angles? That kind of thing. Or why do some Ewoks blink and some not? Is it a stigmatism? Is it some kind of health thing? Is it that there are different races of Ewoks, but they're not defined by skin color or fur color? They're defined by whether they can blink or not? You know.
MCC power fluctuating.
So the Vader no at the end of Return of the Jedi, my perspective on that is it's actually not as terrible as it's made out to be. I still think that the no at the end of Revenge of the Sith is more poorly done than the one in Return of the Jedi, because it doesn't sound as genuine, I guess. But I can remember being a little kid and recognizing that Vader has chosen to turn on the Emperor. But despite all of Luke's, you know, Father, please save me kind of stuff, as a little kid, I never realized, I don't think, the connection between Vader in that moment deciding to take down the Emperor to save Luke. It was more of a, oh, he just betrayed the Emperor. That must have been part of the whole, you know, join me plan all along. The fact that his change of heart was about seeing his own child in agony as a little kid never hit me. And I think with the no's in there, it's going to be clearer to a kid watching the films. And now it makes for at least a decent coda, I guess, as one of those musical echoes or choruses, refrains, as Lucas called them, between the trilogies. So I'm not quite as down on the no in Return of the Jedi as some people are. But I still think the one in Revenge of the Sith should probably have been re-recorded. It seems in your anger you killed her. And it seems that in your grief you sound like a moron. What I think of the phrase in The People vs. George Lucas when they say, George Lucas raped my childhood. Oh, the line that they used out of South Park. I think anybody who defines their childhood only by an entertainment franchise and as an adult somehow feels that because a creator makes a creative choice that's different about something that they have creative control over, that they have every right to change, even if we don't like it, is somehow negating some aspect of your childhood, or even using a term like rape that minimizes the notion of real rape, the same way crying racism on everything now minimizes the negativity of real acts of racism. I think those people are kind of, I don't know if the phrase I'm looking for is dumbass, douchebag, idiots, morons, narcissists. I'm not quite sure what word fits best, but I think that's kind of a twatty thing to do. Speaking of which, speaking of People versus George Lucas, though, let me grab something while I'm sitting here, or while I'm standing here now, to show you. There it is. So I don't have People versus George Lucas on home video, but I do have it on iTunes. But this just came in the mail today. Prequel Strike Back: A Fan's Journey. I've actually not seen that one yet, and I plan to watch that. Jedi Junkies, which I have off iTunes also, and watch People versus George Lucas again sometime soon. And then I'm probably going to check out watch The Force Among Us and The Force Within Us, I think is what they're called. So, yeah, like the fan documentary stuff. But I hadn't ever picked up the Prequel Strike Back because the last time I looked, they didn't have physical copies available. But as soon as they did, I was like, yeah. And I'm going to try to see if there are physical copies of People vs. George Lucas and stuff like that. I just haven't ever really looked. It hasn't been on my radar to look. I don't think about it usually. Okay. Let's see. Haven't seen the new Robot Chicken, but that's cool. I've seen People vs. George Lucas. It's been so long I don't remember much about it. I actually had a whole thing where we were going to do an episode of Star Wars Beyond the Films. It was essentially a point-by-point discussion on stuff that was brought up in that special, but then we got so far behind on other stuff we never did the episode. I've not seen Starweight either. Or Elstree, the one about the studio. Haven't seen either of those yet. And I need to see about getting Bart Wars at some point, but it's low priority because it's a Simpsons thing that's called Bart Wars that has a Star Wars-esque cover, but there's like virtually nothing Star Wars related actually in the content of the episodes that are on that DVD, so it's kind of a false advertising kind of thing, in my opinion. Run! Oh shit! I missed the jump! Run! Ah! Blumph. Ragdoll. Grenade goes kaboomy. Grenade goes kaboomy. Does that work? I think that works. Or Trooper goes kablooey, maybe. And again, it pops in my head. I cannot be a trooper running through this environment and not think and have like all along the watchtower and stuff playing in the back of my mind because it's so Vietnamese. Not Vietnamese, Vietnamese, as in Vietnam War-esque feel. Wait a second, is this actually what the ground is supposed to look like over here, or is this another instance of it not loading the texture? I mean, is this supposed to be like volcanic looking rock, or is it screwed up in the textures? Oh, nope, it's flickering. The texture's gone. Battlefront, you've been bad. They've brought you coal. There you go, Kevin. Exactly. Exactly. It'd be funny if it turns out that they've changed. They haven't, but if they changed continuity and it turns out that instead of Chewbacca being like 200 or whatever it is years old, that instead Chewbacca is actually almost like Kess from Star Trek Voyager in that they have a very fast lifespan, so he's actually very young, and like it turns out that in the Han Solo movie he finds like little baby Chewie or something. Hi, baby Chewie.
It's starting to come apart. MTT taking major damage.
Man.
More firepower. Take it down.
It's like volcanic rock without the volcano. Oh, did you guys just see what I just saw? That as I was walking there, the leaves popped into existence. I haven't seen a lot of texture popping in this game. It's really weird. I'm seeing it a ton tonight, but I didn't see much of that in any previous play. That is weird. It's weird because, officially, I'm just now starting, well, not just now, but like just recently started rewatching Voyager. So I'm doing this massive Star Trek rewatch you might have heard me talk about before. So I watched all of Enterprise. I'm doing it chronologically. All of Enterprise, all the original series, all of the animated series, which I will never do again. All of the original series films. Started up Next Generation, plowed through them, finished it up, was crossing that over with Deep Space Nine once it started in Season 6. And so on and so on and so on. So now I'm in Season 4 of Deep Space Nine, but only a couple episodes in. And I'm on, so Worf just joined. And then I'm on sort of the early quarter or so of Season 2 of Voyager. And I'm actually finding I really enjoy Voyager a lot more than I did the first time around. And Deep Space Nine has very quickly become my favorite Trek series. And there were times when I would have argued in my youth, I'm an old man now, I guess, that nothing could ever hold a candle to Next Generation and that Voyager was garbage. And I'm really digging it. I'm liking Voyager more than I liked Enterprise, though that's not saying much. Again, valedictorian of summer school and all that. EK, to what you said about the spoilers, yeah. I'm not going to say I'm here. I appreciate it if others did not either. But yeah, if you're looking for big Snoke spoilers, Snoke, Reddit, Visual Dictionary leak is the kind of thing you want to search for. But I'm not, aside from just saying it's out there and be careful, I'm not going to repeat it here. Is it darker than normal in here? So weird. Hey, Russell. Tarantino doing a Star Trek is insane. Awesome, but insane. Have like a Vulcan with, or a Romulan with a phaser who keeps getting confused with a Vulcan. Say Vulcan one more time, mother! I double dare you! See, that's the thing. Like, I barely remember 7 of 9 because I stopped watching Voyager and Deep Space Nine. I want to say somewhere around about. I'm not sure. Oh, okay, so put it this way. I remember getting to the point where the star dates jumped to 5-0 whatever. Which means I guess that had to be, what, the 5th season of DS9? Are the lights out, or is the texture off? It really feels like the lights are turned down on this vehicle compared to the way it normally is. Like, look at this. I could barely see anything. And this is not HDR kind of stuff. It's like the lights are off. What the hell? But yeah, so I don't remember a lot of 7 of 9. I don't remember if I got to the point where it was Stardate 5-1 anything, except for watching Star Trek Nemesis eventually and watching Insurrection. Like, I followed the movies because that was Next Generation. God dang. It is dark as hell.
Get to the East Juggernaut now.
I love the fact that, so on a completely separate thing, and eventually I'm going to go on my Facebook page and give my thoughts on my favorite, like, Doctor, Captain, whatever, but I want to finish it first. Like, what am I? Where am I? What the hell? Hello? Anybody out there? Hello? Is anybody out there? Time to watch Wizard of Oz, apparently. Come on! What is up with the dark? It's not a bad thing, it's just, it makes, okay, it's not a bad thing conceptually, but it makes it hard to see, so I don't think it's on purpose. Even when it's nighttime, you can see inside here. Let's do this. As I say, on a completely different note. And I'm trying to remember what I was about to say. Crap! Talking Trek, talking Deep Space Nine, talking Voyager. Shit, I honestly don't remember what I was going to say. Don't! Go! Whoa! Yeah, I kind of like that we don't have much in the way of Borg on DS9, except for, like, Wolf 359 helping set stuff up. And to answer the question, I will always be more of a Star Wars fan than a Star Trek fan, but there was a time when I was hardcore Trek. And Star Wars at the same time. But it was when Star Wars wasn't really as big at the time, and was just EU only, or Legends only. And Trek was still going pretty strong. Oh. You're like, no! Oh! 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 You droid jerkweed.
Together.
Keep the Juggernaut safe. I thought the whole point was that Juggernaut couldn't get hurt because he had that crystal thing. It's even cooler, Russell, when the textures aren't screwed up. You may have missed it a second. Like, this is the second time we've. No, look, there it is again. It's doing it again. The texture of the swamp water is flickering. Like, it looks right, but see how it's kind of flickering. I played a map earlier on this stream on in Mos Eisley on Tatooine, where the sand was gone and it was just the yellow of, as the chat decided, a combination of mustard and vomit. Because the texture coloration of the whatchamacallit of the ground just didn't come in. I don't know why I'm over here. I already done blew it up. You see the hole there. We're just not paying enough attention.
Juggernaut's lost. We can't keep running. Back to the cruiser.
Nice.
We hold there or we break.
No! No, no, no. No, 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 no. You cannot add. It just struck me. You cannot add Dexter Jetster to this game.
We lose the cruiser.
You cannot.
I think we're gonna win.
Because what is the fundamental line that EA will latch onto and use as part of how they order DICE to develop this game and its microtransactions further? It depends on how big your pocketbook is. Hell no. Hell no. They're already following Dexter Jettster's lines to figure out how to design the game.
The foliage is so lush, just like your grandpa. What? Grandpa? Put the wine away.
It's weird that sometimes I can hear the the breathing, and it seems like other times I totally can't.
I'll show you the dark side.
See? This is the dark side. This is the light side. Dark side, light side. Dark side, light side. See? I showed you the dark side. Am I a trooper? Yeah, oh no, I'm a clone. Yeah. I remember which side I was on. I was like,
that's Vader. Should I shoot him or run like hell?
Explosive at the rear pipes.
and I am... What am I gonna say? For those who know me already. What am I gonna say? I'm your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate. That's what I'm gonna say.
Offline. Repeat. Explosive offline.
Explosive offline! That's a good thing, because we're supposed to be defending it. Yeah, Kylo Ren's dialogue in this is kind of awful. Can I sign the book when it comes? Yeah, the way, so okay, the way that would work, since you would have your copy in hand, is we just have to figure out what it costs to send it from there to here, or from here to there. And then what you and then what you do is either like at the post office get a prepaid shipping envelope, which I don't know if you could actually do from another country. So probably what it'd be is be like, okay, so let's figure out what it would cost to send it to you from here, and then you would just like, usually the easiest thing to do is like you'd mail it, but then PayPal however much that's going to cost to send it back, and then I'd sign it and just immediately take it to the post office and send it back to you. It's just a question of, it's a little trickier from outside the country than inside the country, but I mean, I just did a transaction. A buddy of mine, Julian, in the UK, is going to pick up the new home video releases or reissues that they just did there. And I was able to put in an amount of British pounds on PayPal, and it did the conversion to dollars and charged me the dollars and got him the pounds so that he could go out and get it for me. So, I mean, it can be done, and PayPal's an easy way to do it. I just don't know exactly what it would cost to do the mailing, but I can, like, check at the post office and see what they think. Take one of my copies in a package and just say, hey, weigh this, how much would it cost? Whew. Nope. My favorite, if I'm watching everything, right now my favorite vacillates between Force Awakens and Rogue One, because pacing makes a big difference to me. Then it vacillates between Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith, with Return of the Jedi usually coming out on top now. Then it vacillates between A New Hope and Empire for the next slot. Usually A New Hope coming out above Empire. It just kind of depends. And then bottom two being Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, jockeying for the bottom spot. For me, the pacing of Empire is something that... The pacing of Empire and the visual palette used, the color palette used compared to the other films, keep it from being my favorite. Kind of always has been. What version is a favorite? I would prefer to have the original versions of all of them. But as far as actually watching them, if it's an actual retail copy, I tend to watch whatever the newest blue... Well, okay, so of the original 6, it's usually the complete saga that I watch because it's Blu-ray, better sound, better picture. My favorite version of watching Rogue One or Force Awakens is generally the 3D version, if I'm going to be sitting down and just watching it and not doing something else at the same time. In which case I just grab whatever Blu-ray is handy. But then, beyond that, as far as the, like, I'm slowly tending towards watching some more of the despecialized editions, though, but since they're fan projects, they're kind of outside my wheelhouse. But I've now got copies thanks to Kurt sending a set of them, a very elaborate set he put together of them. So I'll be watching those more often. Yeah, I mean, microtransactions that aren't attached to progression are fine. I mean, in my opinion. I'm hearing a ding. Ah, here we go. Un momento. I'm just wondering if we can open the answering a student real quick. Okay. Yeah, I had a student... Oh! I finished one of them. I had a student asking if I could unlock a test for tomorrow, but it really doesn't allow us to do that. But I was like, I'll check it tomorrow if you're going to be taking a test. I mean, I know it's Saturday, but does it hurt me to pull it up on the computer and just have it sitting there so I can walk over for like 5 seconds and unlock something for a kid? I mean, why not? Unless they officially tell me don't do it, I'll do it. All right, so I'm at 156, but I've made it through Troublemakers. So my guess is that probably I need to switch classes. But let me see. So I'm at 156. I guess I'll switch. I'm concerned I don't want to wind up switching and have it that I actually do need more assault kills. But I guess I can just go ahead and switch to another class for the moment. That's fine. Galactic Assault. Just letting Indiana Jim, know that I'm probably going to take a break here in a little bit, maybe even after this match, and then probably stream again shortly thereafter because he's actually going to be around, so we may try to get him back on the stream like we did that one time. Let's see. Night to the Phantom. Oh! Missed that one. When you unlock a test, does a student have to start from a certain period of time? No, It's basically, and we actually didn't have them locked until this year. Basically, it's a competency-based and progression-based system so that a student moves on to the next lesson or the next unit when they pass the assessment. But what we were finding is that because if a student fails a quiz, it's going to stop them and wait. I can show you the night vision and wait for them. Except it just started me as freaking assault class. Ugh. Suicide there. But like if they take a quiz and they fail it, the first time it gets an automatic retake available. If they fail it again, it stops them so we can go in and check and see basically, like, was there just like one main thing they misunderstood? Because if so, we can just maybe give them some questions through email to show their understanding and not have them have to go through the quiz again. If it's multiple things, multiple ideas, then yeah, we probably give them another retake. But then after 3, we have to stop and do remediation if they're still having trouble with it. Well, that only applies to tests and quizzes. So what happens is the students realize they can get through test reviews instead of just tests and the assignment sections by just blowing through them without worrying about being stopped if they fail it. So what we were seeing was that sometimes we'd have students who would get to the end of a course and should be passing, but they're actually failing because while they did fine enough on their quizzes and tests to continue moving on, they were completely blowing off everything that wouldn't stop them because they were concerned about getting to the end, not about getting good grades or not about actually understanding. So what we do now is we stop them before each test to very quickly double check and make sure they're on the right track. so that if they're not, we can have them go back and get some extra help before they take the test. And then once it's unlocked, they can take it any time. At this point, most of these students are right there near the end, so I already kind of know where they are anyway, because they're heading towards like final exams and stuff like that. So at this point, I mean, I know that they're fine. It's just a matter of I have to just press the button to unlock them. Whereas earlier on, it's a lot of, you know, stopping and doing some quick math, like, does this kid still have a chance to pass, or have they blown through something and we need to circle them back? Just depends. Yeah, they definitely found a loophole in that regard, which is why now we got to unlock them. Whew. History of Rock and Roll Global Culture course. Be interesting. I wouldn't be able to teach it, but it'd be interesting. Closest thing I'd be able to teach with that is show somebody the video for Red Hot Chili Peppers Danny, California, and say, yeah, see, that. And that's it. That would be the extent of the course. I think Smallville is still one of the greatest, if not the greatest, comic book-based TV series ever. So, I'll put that up against anything. Hey, Bobby. Bobby! Good! Good! That is good. I'm going to set up a time to do one of the streams like we did before. Also, we want to try to pull 3 people together. Jim Perry is going to be probably coming on whenever I take a break here in a little bit and then start streaming again a few minutes later. So, Bobby, we may see if we can... be like my car wreck and have 3 involved. See, I almost said threesome, and that would be... that would be going back to the Ray thing about, you know, I think I can handle myself. Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, though, not a big fan of that one. I mean, I watched it all, dug it. I thought their Lex Luthor interpretation was interesting. But not a big fan of the series. Nice.
B1 unit activated.
No problema. Do I like Ferris? Yeah. It's been a long time, but yeah. 80s Superboy series I never saw. I don't think. It's like I didn't see many of the George Reeves stuff. I saw a couple. This is that night vision, by the way. Right, so and it takes longer, it seems like, to go into it from this view than from first person, so I just do first person. But it just turns your scope blue, and any enemies are going to glow kind of a white color. Oh, I see! Enemies got to be white! And you're supposed to kill them! That's racist. Sorry! You're on my side. My bad. Ah!
Grenade armed.
Grenade! I'm not gonna hit a damn thing. Whee! Oh, by the way, I've got Barrage now, which is kind of cool.
Clones are firing on the
And I believe it's a double button click. I think the first button click actually launches and the next one blows it up. I haven't upgraded it at all, but it replaces the shield, and I haven't been using the shield hardly at all anyway. What? I have no idea. It's been a long time with Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yeah, grenade! Russell, tell me you know what movie that's from. Please tell me you know what movie that's from. Nobody knows what movie that's from. When I made the grenade reference, even whenever I pair it with latrine, nobody gets the reference. Let's see. All right, so 6, 8, 8, 8, 8. I still want to know the logic behind that. Okay. I don't know if I need heavy kills or not. And I don't remember how many I had. Was it 156, 158 last time I looked? Crap. It is Val Kilmer. Okay, so you're one step further than anybody has so far. It is called Top Secret. Such a great film. Yes, exactly. From before Hot Shots, Top Secret did it better and first. That was such an awesome film. I don't have it anymore, I don't think. I guess I'm gonna have to just grab it off of iTunes or something. Probably watch it later tonight. Latrine! Although I do like the in Hot Shots, I'm thinking maybe it'd be Hot Shots Part 2 instead of Hot Shots 1 that I use all the time, which is the about you know, like, because I always combine it with Shmi. So Shmi is like, you can't stop the change any more than you could stop the suns from setting. To which one I always reply with the Hot Shots thing, times change, people change, interest rates fluctuate. Haven't seen Real Genius. And I didn't know there was such a thing as a Harry Potter weekend, but okay. I hear that's how Ginny Weasley lost her virginity. It was a big Harry Potter weekend. Oh, shit! Oh, yeah! I will give you a century of my own and still die. Now, are there only extended cut versions of the first 2 Harry Potter films and the rest of them are normal? Because in that 4K set that I've got, the only ones listed as extended are the first 2, I think. Yep. Yeah, Top Secret is just fantastic. Where is the one in 2019? Do we even know yet? Because after our first celebration, it was never again. We've done it once, there's no need to do it again. But I think looking back on it, we now have more positive feelings than we did at the time because of some of the bullshit. So I don't know. But yeah, where is the 2019 celebration if they've announced it? I don't remember. I'm sure I've heard if they've announced it, but it has left my brain at some point. Uh-oh! Okay. Have a grenade! Oh, again, when I'm not trying to do it, it works. And it's kind of weird, because like you're not really seeing the full effect of the night vision right now, because it's daytime, I guess, because it's regular light. So they're not glowing white, but they glow white normally. Like when you're on the Hoth map, they glow white. I do not know why it's not glowing white now. Yeah, I really dig that music too, in particular.
Sentry gun online. Ally arriving.
Ally arriving. I totally didn't hear what he just said. I could have sworn that he just said, ally arriving, make sure they eat their vegetables. And I know that's not what he said, so. Damn! Wait a second. Okay, the explosion happened and then I got shot. Well played. Very well played. I think I will probably wrap it up after this one, since it used to be that the stream would get funky right around 2 hours, so I'll wrap it up, take a break, get a drink, maybe pop some sunflower seeds without the shells, for those who've listened to my podcast and know the horror story of the ones with the shells. And then I'll see if I can get Jim on with me again. Yeah, and good luck, turret. Oh, it was because he came at the door, not because I came at the door. I was like, the door opened? The door is ajar. The door is ajar. When did I start YouTube? Oh, I'm gonna assume you mean like when did I start actually doing YouTube videos at all? I honestly am not sure, because I originally did videos that I put up on the Facebook page for a podcast that I was doing, and then a lot of them got transferred over. I want to say maybe 2011, 2012? I can find out during the break between streams. But you might want to remind me before I forget. If it's when did I start this stream, it was about 2 hours ago. But I'm assuming it's a bigger picture kind of question. Is that who's at Gym Neighbors? I always thought that was. I thought that was a. God, what is his name? Or no, that is Gym Neighbors who played. That's who it is. Gomer and Goober. Yeah, because I still use the surprise on the videos sometimes without kind of knowing that nobody from younger generations is probably gonna know what the hell I'm talking about. My wife would be very mad at me for shooting at Yoda. And somehow he didn't kill me, so that was impressive. And then that guy shot me. Wait, was Green Warrior playing as Yoda? Because that'd be fitting. There we go. Student's like, wait. So you're telling me that if I need you to unlock an assignment on the weekend, you're gonna do it? I'm like, yeah. And if I don't, if I don't see it, just text me on the work phone. I'll hear it ding. The students are so just amazed that we are willing to help beyond regular hours just because we all feel like it's the right thing to do and we care about their success. We care about doing what we can to maximize their chances, and it's mind-blowing. And I don't know if that is a testament to how solid our program is or a testament to how poor some other educational experiences wind up being. Probably a little bit of both. Ah, scheiße. Very nice. Very nice. Which version of 2004 did you do? The widescreen silver or platinum packaging or the full screen gold? And which version of the Clone Wars movie did you go with? Because there's a few. I don't mean like a cut, like special edition. I mean there were different ways you could buy it. And gosh, this hurts my jaw after a while because I'm talking and it's putting pressure right there. I love, for the record, I love autocorrect sometimes because I'm assuming that's the widescreen edition, but I actually have a windscreen or like a whatever you call it, like a windshield cover that has the characters in the cockpit of Millennium Falcon that I can put on my car when it's a hot day. So the windscreen edition would actually be pretty cool. Dun 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 dun. Sun, 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 sun. That's only a kill assist. Speaking of which, I guess that's the Peter Gunn theme or something like that. Or no, that was Mission Impossible. But no, they had The Rock do an announcement of one of the video game awards at the Game Awards last night, and he talked about having done the voice work for Spy Hunter, and it was like, yeah, I really appreciate that 3 out of 10 or whatever it was score, Game Informer. Like he was still bitter about it after all these years and flipped off the camera. It's kind of amusing. Not as amusing as the crazy F the Oscars guy, but made for an interesting thing. All right, and whee! I don't want to die. But I want that ability to recharge because freezing is one of the things I need to tick off my to tick off my list of stuff. Oh, die. Come on, now I can freeze some people almost, and there we go. Don't die. Go, freeze. God dang it. I was hammering the button, but he was still in the animation of running forward, so it didn't do a freeze. I didn't even care if I died. I just wanted to freeze because I need 10 more of them for the friggin' milestone.
Securing the room.
I do remember that. I haven't seen him yet, but I don't think. I do remember that. Playable porgs. Oh, man. If we could do playable porgs, then what they need to have is porgs as a special kind of grenade. That you, like... I mean, if you're gonna... Okay, so if they do change their mind about, okay, we can't do, like, a pink Darth Vader as a cosmetic skin that you could buy, because it would break canon, as if somehow playing as all these different characters during the Clone Wars right now isn't breaking canon. If they loosen their hands on that and just do, like, goofy stuff for some of the skins, then I'm thinking that they probably ought to also do a skin that is... or not, like a skin for a grenade that's a porg, and basically it goes, oh, and then you throw it and it blows up. Just saying. And that is my phone going off, but I will call that person back here between the streams here, because I'm about to jump off of here. This is the last one until I stop. Apparently return the call, and a student just says awesome to me, saying that I would still check it on the weekend. Heck yeah. But I'm going to take a quick break here, and then I'll jump back on and see if I can get Jim with me. Oh, I did do it! How did I do that? There's no way I froze 10 more. I froze like one guy, and then I turned and did it again, and it didn't seem to affect anybody. And then I rolled toward the door and did it, and got shot and killed. Am I just not seeing the effect happen? But it's working? Don't know, don't care. I actually got it. So let's go claim that reward and check the progress and roll here. But yeah, that's what. Yeah, an alternate skin with a sliced face. That would be cool. Let's see. Yeah, the checklist will be a good one to use. I'm not sure how it reflects with Australian releases, but for U.S. releases, it's essentially complete. So it can be used to check stuff off as you go. All right, and to answer the question about favorite Legends books, it's a little bit tricky. I'm pretty partial to the Legends of the Force series and the X-Wing series, or Legends of the Force, Legacy of the Force series, and the X-Wing book series. My favorite Legends stuff is probably going to be, the Legacy comic series for the Legends continuity. Oh my gosh. So you get that first reissue, the 2015. That's what they just reissued this year, this week, at Walmart with that new slipcover on it that calls it 6 Movie Collection. It's just that same one from 2015. And I'm betting we're going to be stuck in loading hell, which has happened before. So, let me give you the last spiel, and then I will head out of here, return that quick phone call, and get in touch with Jim to try to set up another stream here in a little bit, as it is about 7:30. Okay, then that wasn't a couple years ago, and that wasn't in blue trays. The 2011 original release was the one that was in the sleeved cardboard packaging with Anakin on the cover. If you're talking about blue trays instead of sleeves, then you're talking about 2015. Or you're talking a different region that maybe did something different that I've never seen before. Because there wasn't a 2011 version that used regular Blu-ray cases. It didn't exist. Okay, so it's a 2011 cuts, but not 2011 packaging. All right, so again, I'm Nathan P. Butler. This is my YouTube channel. You will find stuff on here like this series itself. From the Star Wars Home Video Library, you heard me mention those 7 reissues that just got re-released at Walmart with the exclusive Forces of Destiny discs with it. You can check out a video about that from the Star Wars Home Video Library, a recent episode released of that I have here on the channel. I'm also going to be putting up, probably either late tonight or early tomorrow, some quick videos of the contents of the 5 new ships from Waves 12 and 13, the new waves of Star Wars X-Wing for Fantasy Flight Games, and there's other reviews of that kind of stuff up. I am, of course, recently featured as the Afterward Rider in a More Civilized Age, exploring the Star Wars Expanded Universe from Sea Quartz. It's an afterword that is opposite of Forward by Timothy Zahn. And of course, I'm the author of, as EK mentioned, A Saga on Home Video, a fan's guide to U.S. Star Wars home video releases, which is available right now on Amazon. I can be heard on Cloud City Casino with Michael Morris and on Star Wars Beyond the Films with Mark Hurleman, both at StarWarsReport.com. Cloud City Casino is about Star Wars games, and yes, We have done recent episodes, in fact 3 released now, all relating back to Battlefront 2 specifically and almost exclusively. My Star Wars Timeline Gold, the most comprehensive Star Wars chronology available anywhere, can also be found at StarWarsFanWars.com/timeline. It is 3,100 plus pages. It just had its 20th anniversary back in October when the new release came out. It has 5 documents. It is enormous. But if you're looking for a continuity resource, that's the one to go with, I would argue, because it's the most comprehensive out there. All right, so I'm going to head out of here, return that phone call, drink something. Nothing strong, just caffeine. Drink something, grab a quick snack or something, and check in with Jim and see if we can get him onto the next stream. So my guess is it is about 7:30 Eastern right now. More than likely, we're looking at about 8 o'clock or between 8 and 8:15 Eastern when I will get back going again. So thank you all for being here, and hopefully I'll see you here in just a little bit. If not, have a good night, and I'll catch you later from, I can't believe it, but snowy instead of icy Atlanta.